at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty and pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Matt Knight, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. I'm Harrison Arns, back here at the studios, 1040 O Street for 93.7 The Ticket. As always, we got the host of the show, DeMornay Pierson-El, on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this cold Thursday night right before Snowmageddon hits?
It's all right, other than the snow.
Yeah, for all those listening out there, it looks like we're anywhere between 3 to 7. If you're sitting on the fence between there, it seems more likely that we're heading towards a good 6-7 inches of snow. So definitely be safe. Don't be running on fumes, as Eric Strickland said, with your car. fill up, have some warm clothes in there just in case. But definitely some cold weather around the corner here, as well as some more Husker-related football news. Nebraska continues to kind of get whatever it feels like. It seems like a Christmas in January when it comes to Husker football, really with Husker athletics as a whole, as they've all seemed to be trending on the way up. But they had another guy from the portal, Stephon Thompson, out of Syracuse, 6'1", 248 pounds. He is a senior, so this will be his last year of eligibility. But you get another veteran linebacker in the room out of Syracuse. Demorne Pierson-El, how big is this for you to get another linebacker who's going to have a lot of experience under his belt?
It helps. The defense is already, a strong point, a focal point of the year. But I mean, it's a long season. You got young guys, you got, a bit of unproven guys, and, why not, add another, piece to the puzzle and mix things up. Versatility is key. And I like what, this guy brings to the university.
Yeah, so you add him. So now you have Stephon Thompson. You got Micah Miskua. We talked about him yesterday from Florida. Dante Dowdell out of Oregon. Isaiah Neyor out of Texas. Jamal Banks out of Wake Forest. And, of course, Bly Hill out of SFU. So right there, you got what seems to be 6 solid players that could get a shot to have an impact sooner than later for Nebraska football, on top of what was a pretty awesome recruiting year for Nebraska so far, especially for early signing day that was on that Wednesday. It's kind of all trending in the right direction for Matt Rule. And with that being said, I know not all the pieces are set in stone yet, but what to you, looking at next season and year 2 with Matt Rule, would be a successful year? Like, how many wins, as you're seeing this roster be built through development, and now we're adding some how do we want to say, some just extra help through the portal? Definitely not building the team through, though, but getting some added valued skill players as well. What is a real reasonable expectation in terms of wins for Matt Rule in year 2, seeing what we've seen with the enrollment and some of these transfer portal guys?
Ooh, that is
I know it's to the eye of the beholder, but I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I don't want to put and guess too early, because you never know what you have. Like, you say you have a 5-star kid, the live bullets might start happening, and you don't know. Injuries, hopefully not. Everything goes how it should. Everybody gets, gets to the season healthy. I think a successful season is 7+ wins. Hopefully a trip to a bowl game. I think that would be the floor. If he can at least do that in year 2, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm around those same guidelines. 6 to me is a must. 7 is kind of what I expect. Year 2, the schedule isn't as hard as you think it might be. I don't think it's as bad as what most people are anticipating with all the new teams entering in the Big Ten. I think 7 wins is a reasonable expectation, especially with the talent you're starting to bring in here. You didn't have a whole lot of guys hit the portal. That defense, you'll have a lot of key guys coming back, so only expect that defense to get better. And we've kind of saw that last year. If you just make that offense average, middle of the road, you're going bowling, no question. So if the defense continues to play well, I think if that offense, even if it's incremental, you see an increase in there. It's 5, 6, 7 wins. Totally possible. I'm closer to 7 to 6 wins, though, if you can just get that small increase in the offense. But sticking to college football here, as again, if we'll figure out more with the Cornhuskers as it continues to go through the transfer portal. But let's stick with college football and talk about that transfer portal, because when it comes to the transfer portal, you're seeing more and more players hit it every single year. The last numbers we got were 8,000, I believe 8,000, around 699. That's about double what it was in its inaugural year, which would have been that 2018-19 season, which only had just above 4,000 players hitting the portal. Only a few years into it, and we've doubled that already. With the amount of players hitting the portal, do you expect this number to keep getting bigger? Again, it was about a 5.5% increase from last year. How much bigger is this number going to get, or do you expect it to kind of dwindle down as we just keep getting into this portal era?
I think it'll dwindle down just because the NCAA and the powers that may be will try to control it, will try to put, certain guidelines to it. So I don't think it'll be exactly what it is right now. I think, they'll add some nuances here and there and change the stuff to, kind of keep players kind of under the microscope and at where they're at.
Do you think it's going to have to be a pendulum swings type of deal, or do you think it's going to be NCAA figures it out first? Or do you think the players are going to be the one to stop maybe hitting the portal as fast as they are? Because we always talk about it, the grass is always greener. At a certain point in time, if this number keeps getting higher and higher and higher, that just won't be true anymore. That many players hitting the portal, some guys are going to lose out on key spots. Who gets it figured out first? When I talk about the players, maybe not figured it out, but less players hitting the portal. Do you think the NCAA put some rules in play, or do you think it's a natural occurrence where the players just aren't hitting the portal with the extreme numbers that we've been seeing?
Well, it's a lot easier for someone to run away from a problem than to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the players will stick it out. Not everyone's the same. Different situations, completely understandable. I don't think though it'll be the players might stick things out. That's just not what things are trending towards. A lot of other athletes, they're kind of a little bit more prima donna now. If they're not getting what they think they're getting, rather than sacrificing and trying to figure out and stick it through, they'll look for other options or whatnot. I think it'll come from the NCAA along the lines with with stuff with the NIL stuff. I think a lot of coaches will complain. I think a lot of people will start to try and tear down that and everything like that. And I think that's from the NCAA is where you'll see the regulation of stuff to come down to change stuff.
I want to talk about that. Do you personally think that players are quote unquote softer today? Because that is an argument that just comes up more and more. Okay, so you're saying if we have the same portal rules, the same NIL rules, and you take that same package of rules, you place it 20 years back, do you think the results would be different, that you still wouldn't have players hitting the portal? My question is it the players or is it the circumstances around the players?
I think some of the circumstances I get and I understand. Mm-hmm. A coaching change, coaching gets fired, or a different situation to where you're not even trying. Y'all promised me this and it's not doing this, but yet a kid isn't putting the work in to earn that, to put it, his best foot forward to be in the right position and do what he's supposed to. He's not, well, you said if I come here, this and this and that. Well, at the end of the day, the NCAA is a career for some of these coaches. Like that's how they feed their family. So if kids aren't, consistent, if kids aren't disciplined on time, showing up and doing the things to require and everything like that, to make sure that they're doing their part on things, that's not on the coaching and them. Yeah, they had a plan for you, but when you got there, you didn't take advantage of your plan. Now, why are they going to put you in a situation when you're not ready? You're not hitting your strides you're supposed to. You missing opportunities left and right. At some point in time, every train has its last stop. So, they got to move on.
And there goes the morning Pierson-El, as I think he accidentally hung up, hitting the button on his chin. Or I think everyone's been there at one point in time when you got the phone on your shoulder, you accidentally hit the hang up button. So I'm sure he'll call back in here. Just give me 1 second here. We'll try to get him back on. All right, scratch that. We might have to go ahead and throw it to an early break here. We'll get the morning Pierson-El back on the next segment, though. But again, just kind of wrap this one up. We're talking some Husker football, just kind of going through what has been a late Christmas in terms of Husker football. We talked about it, right? You get Bly Hill out of SFU, a 3-star corner. You get a 4-star wide receiver out of Jamal Banks out of Wake Forest, a 3-star wide receiver, Isaiah Neyor out of Texas, 4-star Dante Dowdell, 3-star Micah Maskula from Florida. Dante's from Oregon, the running back, of course. So you're looking at this, and Nebraska through the portal seems like you're getting everything you wanted. You go back to early signing day. None of the guys flipped for Nebraska. There's a few you were worried about, but in quite of the opposite fashion. Nebraska would actually get a pretty big flip out of Maryland out of the corner. So again, you're looking at this and it just feels like whatever Matt Rule is selling, the belief is there amongst college football athletes. You're not seeing a whole lot of guys on his rosters hit the portal. You look at guys in Nash Hutmacher, Ty Robinson, who, if they really wanted to, they probably could have declared for the draft earlier than later. And with the seasons they had, they would have had a reasonable shot making waves in the NFL, at least getting a shot in there, especially looking at a guy like Ty Robinson, probably would have been drafted at some point sooner or later. So you're looking at all this, you're seeing the belief in Matt Rule. It does give you a lot of optimism for what this team can be next year. And I'll bring it to you guys, 402-464-5685. What to you is that number of wins that Nebraska needs to have for you to consider it a successful season? I'd imagine a bowl game is the bare minimum. For anyone who is a Husker football fan, you see Northwestern do it. You see Wisconsin do it. You're watching these programs who had every, especially Northwestern, it was just in a nightmare of a situation before the season even starts, and they find a way to get in. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, he's kind of under some early pressure, unusual pressure. This was a program that had great players, had good talent. All you needed to do was get your system in place in the offseason, and the talent was there. You should be off and rolling. And it was a bit bumpy. At one point in time, Nebraska and Wisconsin were playing for their lives to see who can get into a bowl game. Wisconsin beats Nebraska in OT, and they'd also get another one at the very end to ensure 7 wins. Meanwhile, Nebraska fizzles out with 4 games left on the schedule, only needing to get 1. So despite falling short in the late season and not going bowling, the message still seems to be hitting with these players, the development for year 2. And excuse me, we'll take this. I do believe we got Pierson-El back on the line. All right, so we got Pierson-El back on the line, as always, on the Al VIP line. I was just kind of hyping up the roster that we have here for Nebraska football and the belief that I think Matt Rule is getting to these players as we're seeing it through transfer portal. But nonetheless, I'm going to take a guess there that was an accidental hang-up where it slipped on the chin.
I don't even know what happened. It just clicked. I'm not sure what went wrong.
But anyways, while we have it, we don't have a ton of time left on this first segment here. And again, if any of you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 951. I kind of asked for that rough number. You're saying anywhere 7 wins is kind of the floor you would like to see. But out of all the players that we're getting, is there any of these younger players, transfer, you can even say older, even a Micah Meskua, the senior, that's the interior offensive lineman coming out of Florida, or the running back coming out of Oregon? Out of all the guys we've been hearing of as of late, which one of these, or maybe even a couple, really thinks that they can have a big impact right away playing for Nebraska?
The offensive lineman from Florida,
Micah Meskua.
Yes. Like I said, he's coming from the SEC, and you see a lot of power. It's a different type of ball down there, and I think it's a little bit faster at times. And outside of the weather, I think he'll have a easier transition than other people. Just with the freakish of athletes that you see week in and week out. Not to say that the Big Ten doesn't, but I mean it's a little bit different ball down there. So I want to see what he does. I think he's a point to where he'll start off on a right foot quick and early.
Yeah, and he'll defend his guys. That's something that's very clear. With Meskua, he is not afraid to put his own body on the line if his teammates are getting what he thinks is unfair treatment. So that's something you got to respect. Who was that guy for you on your time at Nebraska that you felt like if you ever got in a fight, this guy was going to be in my corner? Not saying that he's going to do anything too nasty, but a guy that definitely always had your back.
We had a lot of those players at different positions.
Who was that guy for you then?
A few of them on the. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can still got you here.
A few of them on the offensive line. Through the years, guys like Nick Gates, Gerald Foster.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see Joe Foster being that
guy. Cotton, my freshman year, Cotton. He was any time I was down on the ground, him or Alex Lewis, were one of the first two guys to make sure that I had a hand getting helped up, Stan. We had a lot of those players on the team. I can't specifically point and say, oh, this guy, this and this and that. It would be unfair to the rest of them. But it was a handful of guys. A lot of guys move like that.
So no obvious Draymond Green enforcer on the team, which, to be fair, I think a guy like Green takes a little bit too far. But what does that add to the value of the team? Is that something that's overlooked, or does having those guys in the locker room that represent the N and the whole team as itself before they even put themselves first, is that something that gets overlooked, or is that a really big piece to add to a culture that is arguably needed here at Nebraska?
I definitely think sometimes it can be overlooked. Sometimes, to the public eye, they don't see or they don't know who the guy is, but the team will. That's not to say, that's not a guy that gets all the glory, gets all the camera time and everything like that. But it's a guy, if something happens and whatnot, you got people in your face to back you up and everything like that. Or you got somebody, that can get you out of a situation before, you cause a penalty or something like that. And those guys, it never gets picked. It just kind of just happens. Like the team knows who it is. The team knows, okay, that's that guy. Like, if I'm down or something like that, or somebody's in my face, you got a guy like Nick Gates running halfway across, the field to get in somebody's face, or, Alex Lewis pushing dudes off of you, talking smack to them and helping you up and everything like that. So, I mean, you can't pick out those guys unless, or it gets shown.
Yep. And, those are always, I think, fan favorites for a reason. You see that on the defensive side of Nebraska last season. They really stood up for each other. On the offensive end, I don't think it's not because they had that, but I just think because of the injuries, they're really just struggling to find that confidence as a whole themselves. But I think adding a guy like that on the offensive side, you're just building up what is the N as opposed to individuality. And that's something about Matt Rule that gives me a lot of hope. You see it with him making his team go out to multiple sporting events. He wants them to believe in the university. Everyone get behind the N for student athletes. And then pretty soon you're working for the university as opposed for individual goals. And in a way that if the team's winning, you're more likely going to experience that individual success as well. So it gives me a lot of hope about Matt Rule. And I like the way he's handling this program, making people respect the university's athletics as a whole, rather than just lock in all on football all the time. They show the support for everything. You saw a lot of the guys out there for the wrestling match supporting their own guy in the Polar Bear, which, by the way, if you don't have plans for Friday, go watch them face Iowa. That is another elite wrestling school. You're going to see the Polar Bear. If he can get a pin against an elite wrestling school, or even just a win, this is a guy who's undefeated in his high school career. He's got one Power 5 pin already versus Wyoming. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You can probably get in. I think it's like $10. So if you don't have Friday plans, go support Coach Manning and the wrestling team. It's been a fantastic program. Even when DeMornay Pierson-El was playing, they were great. Before DeMornay Pierson-El was playing, they were great. It's always been elite here when it comes to Nebraska wrestling. So support them on Friday if you haven't had the chance to go watch them yet. With that being said, though, we do have to go ahead and wrap it up here on this first segment of the Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. I'm Harrison Arns, back at the 1040 Ticket Studios. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, an easy track lawnmower, or gator, every piece of equipment in pre-owned inventory is put through a rigorous inspection so it's ready to work hard for you. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything that is sold meets their quality standards. Learn more at landmarkimp.com or stop into a local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now. Ticketmaster.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run. So like speed option, those things. All you want to do.
Speed. I can't see.
It's also. Oh,
oh!
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill.
Down.
Come on
just
now.
Calm down.
I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be a parentheses or
too many commas over there.
Too many come on. Run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Demorne Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back into the Don't Punt Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. We bring in the host, as always, Demorne Pierson-El through the Allo VIP line. Demorne Pierson-El, we are talking some college football on the last segment. And again, I'll open up to you guys, 402-464-5685. With the void of coaches that has been happening, not only in college, but the NFL as well, we'll stick with college. But Nick Saban, he's obviously gone. Who do you think, when it comes to the SEC now, which team is going to fill that void of being the dominant SEC presence? There's some obvious ones, but I'm curious to you if there's any dark horse ones as well. When it comes to the SEC, some of these teams and these head coaches, which ones to you seem like they're most eager, licking their chops to go ahead and take the throne that Nick Saban will be leaving?
I'm interested. I think when you ask that question, there's two teams that kind of just pop into my head. Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good, but then every time like they've gone up against Alabama, like it just ends their season or whatever at whatever point in time. And I know Florida hasn't been what we've used to, but I think Florida will probably get back to being a stronger point on that side of the SEC.
Yeah, and when it comes to Tennessee, that's a squad with Freeze that, like you said, they just haven't had that really big win yet. That they need that splash win to kind of get the belief in the system. We've talked about that with Nebraska basketball, why that win against Purdue was so big, because if you want to start being respected as a team that's really making strides of getting better, getting towards the top of whatever division you may be in, it's going to take some of those more prominent wins. And with Tennessee, they really haven't had that yet. What do you think about Auburn? Do you think Auburn is licking their chops a little bit to see that their rival in Alabama is with their head coach leaving and Nick Saban, the portals leaving as well? You think Auburn's licking their chops, and do you think they have a realistic shot of using this opportunity to kind of climb back into relevancy? Because that's a team who, unlike Tennessee, has actually played pretty well against Alabama in years recent.
No. So even before, Bama, they were just kind of still the little brother. So I don't think things will pop from them. I'm more nervous of Ole Miss before Auburn.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin was going to be the next one. I think the guys to me that stick out the most are both coming off of the Saban coaching tree. Kirby Smart, Georgia, who, Nick Saban has already spoke about how Kirby Smart was one of his best assistant coaches he's ever had, really spoke highly about him, and it's no surprise that he's doing so well over in Georgia. And then Lane Kiffin for Ole Miss, same kind of thing. He's going to have that splash win too. He's going to have to make some waves, I think, if he wants to go ahead and take that spot. But to me, the SEC, depending on what Alabama will look like, I think Alabama will still be good and really competitive in the next couple of years, just because the framework of the culture is still there. A lot of the athletes will still be there. There's going to be plenty hitting the portal, but I think there'll be enough there for a couple of good seasons. The key is going to be, how do you develop it and how do you not change too much in the middle of the process? But I think it's probably going to be Georgia to hold that dominance over Alabama. With that being said, how many championships do you think Kirby Smart can get in these next 10 years? Because I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And if there's a guy who's going to be anywhere close to Saban's resume, I think it's going to be Kirby Smart in Georgia, which one thing I'll say, shout out to Saban, he did prevent Georgia from winning 3 in a row. And I think Georgia, if they would have got in, would have had a real shot to win 3 in a row, protect Tom Osborne's resume there a little bit. So shout out to Nick Saban for at least getting that done, ensuring that Georgia does not even have the opportunity to get 3. But what are you seeing in the success here for Georgia? Because to me, it just feels like the floodgates are open and we might be heading towards a Georgia dominant era, despite them missing the playoffs this year.
I think he can get 3 or 4 within the next 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got 2 already. And Saban's got what, 6? 6, I believe. Yeah. So I mean, he's got time to surpass Saban.
I mean, the next 2 closest teams that were anywhere close to them outside of Alabama was Ole Miss and probably Mizzou.
Yeah.
So I think Mizzou is on the Georgia side. LSU, I like Kelly down there, but I'm not too sure if he really fits, what they do. I mean, I just don't see, honestly, too many in the SEC stopping Kirby. Kirby and Georgia is the new Bama. When Nick left LSU and took the job at Bama, I think it's one of those type of passing the torch type things. And even the last past 3 years, Kirby has gotten over the hump of Bama. So Georgia and Kirby Smart was more dominant than Bama. It's just you never knew how those Georgia-Alabama games would go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of that, so with the SEC, I'm right there with you. I think that Georgia, Kirby Smart, they're going to be the dominant ones in the SEC. I don't think it's too much of argument there. You can argue with the NIL, more talent's just getting spreaded around evenly, but that's the second part. Does the Big Ten feel like it's starting to break into this discussion a little bit more? It felt like the college football playoffs were very dominantly SEC, but now we just saw Michigan. So the only person in my eyes that would stop the Georgia dominance would actually be a Big Ten team. Do you think the Big Ten's now entering this era where we might be blow for blow when it comes to the SEC in terms of winning at the biggest possible level?
I think so. I think the Big Ten teams are becoming more rounded. Now that Alabama's kind of out of it, I think the Big Ten definitely match even before some of the Pac-12 teams coming into the conference and everything like that. I think the Big Ten isn't too far off from the SEC. I think we compete well with a lot of their teams at full strength. I think it would be a competitive head-to-head. Their conference versus our conference. Our conference is just as dominant as theirs. We produce just the same amount of draft picks and skill guys and everything like that. So I don't think the gap is as big as it was maybe a few years ago. I'm not saying we're even, but I think the Big Ten teams can definitely compete in the SEC and be fine.
Yeah, and I think adding that level of competition is going to make the Big Ten scary. I think the fact that the Big Ten to me is going to be more evenly balanced when it comes to strength of schedule compared to the SEC. There's going to be good teams in the SEC, but when you're looking at the Big Ten now, if USC can continue to get better, you add UCLA, probably the weakest out of those, but a Washington team who just went to the college football championship, an Oregon team who was not too far behind with the Heisman candidate as well. So you're going to add a bunch of teams with a lot of talent in here. And it's the good old saying, iron sharpens iron. And if Michigan or even Ohio State, if they can continue on some dominant seasons, and now they also got wins under their belt against, say, a Washington or an Oregon, some more high caliber teams, the Big Ten is going to look, in my eyes, to be pretty unstoppable outside of Georgia in the SEC. But it's going to be interesting to watch who fills the role of Nick Saban, because we're seeing it already, a little bit of panic with some of the players hitting the portal. How soon does Alabama need to go ahead and just name a head coach here to prevent this leak of players?
I would say pretty fast, but you can't just get, any coach. That's some hard shoes to fill. I don't know who would be the best choice to go there after that. Just because of everything you do is going to get paired to, well, Nick did it this way, Saban did it. So now is your people not even, your people might not even believe in what you're saying or what you're trying to do, and nothing. And it might not be, wrong. It's just you do things differently. But I mean, that you're going to be compared to him at every little step you take. So
Do you think they got a guy in mind already?
Name. It needs to be, a respected name.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they have a guy in mind already that we're just not aware of it? I have a hard time believing that. I feel like Saban cares about the program a lot, that I don't think he'd want to leave it in a vulnerable state. In my mind, they have to be talking to a guy, or at least have a few guys narrowed down already.
I don't think Saban would just get to the conclusion he did and how things went just so suddenly without, things being kind of set in motion and planned. He, some of the upper people, at the university probably knew it was coming, and whatnot. I don't think that's just something he just woke up one day and was like, "Nah, I'm just done," and that was that. I think, he might have been sitting on that for a little bit, and, some of their uppers kind of knew and kind of already started, early. So I think they probably do know who they want and everything like that. It's just, I guess, waiting until things die down. I don't know why you wouldn't, say it.
Yeah, because we mentioned it, and you're going to keep hearing about it until they go ahead and figure out and find someone. Some of these players, they're key guys, and it's not something where you ever blame the players. Why would you stay if you don't know who the head coach is going to be? You can't blame a guy for leaving. So I think they got to figure it out sooner than later. But the SEC, it's definitely in an interesting state. They're adding teams. They're losing one of their greatest coaches. Who's going to fill that void? It seems like Georgia, Kirby Smart, the most likely case to bring that dominant team in the SEC. Maybe it's Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Who knows what Missouri does? And of course, we talked about it. Hugh Freeze with Auburn. Maybe they find some relevancy again with Alabama, not likely having the powerhouse seasons that they had in years past. Or it could even be, Josh Heupel for the Tennessee Volunteers. So SEC definitely going to be an interesting conference to watch next year, along with the Big Ten, as it seems to continue to build up to this powerhouse of really elite caliber teams. With that being said, though, we'll go ahead and throw it to our final break. This is the Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. I'm Harrison back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Don't Punt Hour with the host, as always, DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. And if you guys want to put any final comments in, something you want us to give our opinion on, 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman text line. Put a face to the voice through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, channel 961. Always feel free to do that, as we got Allo 961 running 24/7. So if you got Allo, you got the ticket content as well. But with that being said, let's keep diving into a little bit more into football. With the college segments kind of out of the way there, DeMornay Pierson-El talking about Nick Saban, which team is most likely to fill the dominance that Nick Saban had. Georgia, obviously the favorite there, but some teams like Auburn, Ole Miss could be interesting. Some news, Dan Lanning I know that was a common name being dropped to who's going to take that job for Alabama. He is staying at Oregon. So nothing there to really sink your teeth into. That was all just hearsay. Dan Lanning will continue to coach for Oregon, will not be heading to Alabama. But switching over to the NFL, when it comes to the Titans job now being open, you got the Commanders job. Bill Belichick today, he announces he's leaving as well. It has just been a crazy start to 2024. You got all these great coaches leaving. Which one of those jobs in the NFL seems the most lucrative? That if you were a great coach, which one of these jobs really speaks to you in the NFL that you could go in there and you could maybe start winning faster than later?
I would say the Chargers. Hands down, you got a franchise quarterback tied down to a contract. You got, his number one and number two punch tied down to a contract. You probably have to pay the left tackle, but I mean your defense is solid. It's not terrible. I mean you got Bosa there and you got Khalil Mack. I think he's still under contract. I mean now it's just building and putting pieces. You got a young Asante Samuels at corner who he's showing flashes of who his father was. I think that would be the easiest path just because you have so many pieces and you don't have to work out stuff. Stuff is already done. You can walk in day one and, just it might take you a year or two just to get things firing. But, I mean, it's not like the Patriots. Like, I'm nervous that's you don't know what they want to do at quarterback, running back, receivers. The defense is okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got people tied in, so I definitely think the Chargers job it would be appealing to a lot of coaches.
Yeah, I think if the Chargers, I think they're going to want to get more of an offensive minded coach in there. Try to figure out a way to really unlock what you have there. You mentioned it; they definitely to me seem to have the most talent on paper. The Seattle Seahawks would probably be second for me as another franchise that I would love to go ahead and coach because I feel like, you wouldn't have to go through the Panthers ordeal. The Panthers, it's such a brutal position because you're handed a dumpster fire of a roster and you're already being graded on something that you never even built or put together in the first place. And it just makes it a nightmare of a job. And in pro sports, people make their opinions pretty quickly on whether you're going to work out or not. So I think the real lure would probably be the Seattle Seahawks job. You can argue the Patriots because the Patriots, I mean, that's the team. One thing you can trust about Bill Belichick, even if the offense isn't astounding, it's a well-rounded team with a good, yes, exactly. The defense is there. The special teams are there. Offensively, it just seems like you're really missing some key players to help that thing get going. It's not going to be anything flashy, but you just got to do a little better than Mac Jones and Zappy and figure out a few more key wide receivers as well. But I think those are probably the two jobs most people would be looking for. When it comes to the Titans, that one really surprises me. What do you think about Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions? What do you think about his fit over for the Tennessee Titans? Because I like that one. I think that's kind of keeps on track of what they've been already in terms of their culture.
It wouldn't be bad. I'm just still upset that Vrabel was gone. I thought he was just a perfect fit. I mean, you finally kind of get a quarterback. I mean, you trade away your star receiver and you see what happens when you don't have that type of player there. I think they just pulled the rug from under him too quick. That one really bothers me. Like, I'm really pissed off about that one.
Where does Vrabel go next? Then that'd be the better question because he's not done. I'm with you. He's way too good of a coach.
I think him in Washington would be good.
Yeah, I like that fit. Commanders.
I mean, their D line has been a pivotal key of stuff. I mean, you got Philly, which you don't. Yeah, they've been good these last couple of years, but I mean, they've been up and down. Dallas, you can beat up on Dallas just because you face those teams. He's more physical. You got the guys in there, they just need to get their mind right. And then New York. I mean, New York is New York. So I mean, for Vrabel, I think Washington would be a good fit. I think Seattle will be a really good fit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going against the 49ers. I would like to see him and Shanahan go at it. I think, me personally, I would like that.
That's a good point. That'd be a great coaching matchup right there. Those, to me, are two guys that are better when it comes to game planning than a lot of coaches in the league. Like, they're good at putting and imposing their style on you. So seeing those two teams go up against each other, both teams that really like to dictate the pace on their own style, that'd be a great matchup as well. But with that being said, Demorne Pierson-El, I appreciate the time as always, but we do got to go ahead and wrap it up here. We have What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington up next, and to follow that one, Get Real with Ben Bleicher. So plenty here yet left on a Ticket Weeknights on a cold Thursday night. But nonetheless, Demorne Pierson-El, appreciate the time as always, and I will talk to you next week. So that's Demorne Pierson-El. Again, Harrison Arns back at the 1040 Ticket Studios. We're going to wrap it up here. Don't go anywhere. Plenty of content left up ahead. Talk to you guys in a little bit.